guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Oh, hold on a minute. What's happening here? Oh, just as I was about to go on air, a screen came up. Actually, I'll show you what I was about to share with you, or what I was trying to share with you, which blocked my passage this morning onto the screen. A very important and useful webinar this week, especially for our American friends. We are looking at US taxes and how to get that right. Look at this webinar Thursday evening, tomorrow night, 7:30, US expat taxes in Portugal. Find out how to get it right with US tax specialist. How about that? Make sure you sign up for that if that's up your street. Obviously not good for anyone other than the US expats tomorrow, but they are large and growing in number, aren't they? They're the swelling membership. You might say the US expats and American folks interested in coming to Portugal right now. You know who you are. We know who you are. And one of them, the OLP. Are they still blocked? Because look at this rather excellent comment, making light of a rather awkward situation. The OLP, not the OLG, the Oregonians loving Portugal, got the gift of the gab from Carl. What's that then? Oh, Gumper accidentally blocked. Now, either they are blocked for life. What happened with you, Suze? Because this happened to you, didn't it? They're not here this morning so far. The only thing I've got from the OLP... Actually, I should just say good morning, first of all, shouldn't I? Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream. I'm a bit giddy this morning. There's all sorts of surprises happening this morning. My mum, it's like bring your mum to work day today. You know, there's that thing, bring your kids to work, bring your pets to work. It's bring your mum to work day today. And my mum may well be jumping onto the screen. Not this one, because that could get messy in here, but she'll be in a different room of the household here of Casa Munson, and saying a little bit about how much she's enjoying her stay. Well, I hope she says how much she's enjoying her stay, and there are no complaints. I hope she's not asking for the complaints book here in this house, which she's entitled to do by law, I believe. Does that work on a family level? I'm not sure here in this establishment. And of course, the doc will be here around 9 o'clock. He's having a great time this half term, I think, a family over, but he's making sure he's here with us to answer questions. Well, anything. It's Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday, where, do you know what? We ask anything, or you can ask anything about Portugal, and we'll do our best to answer you. Me, the doc, my mum might chip in with that as well. And of course, the hive mind, the community here, the collective intelligence, and it's vast, huge, the collective and collaborative intelligence here on this show. So we'll do our best to answer any questions. I was going to say there are no silly or stupid questions. Of course there are. But feel free to ask them anyway, and we won't laugh at you, not directly in your face anyway. No, we won't. Please, if you've got silly questions, you know me. I mean, I'm the first to embarrass myself here every day pretty much, right? Even when I'm not here, I'm embarrassing myself somewhere. So don't worry. If you've got something that's been bothering you, that's gnawing away at you. Why? What does that mean in Portuguese? What should I do here in Portugal? When I get to Portugal, how should I be about this? Ask it, and we'll do our best to answer it without laughing behind. We'll laugh with you, not at you. We'll do our best. Anyway, Bon dia alegria from Penny, who's here. Look at this. Loved Luisa's 220222 US reading yesterday. Significant astrologically for the United States. And some of you may know that Mrs. M is an astrological consultant, and did a live stream about that yesterday, which it looks like Penny loved. I was looking after the kids, not seen it yet. I saw a little bit of it as she flashed across my screen when I was supposed to be looking after the kids was actually on Facebook, but I couldn't watch the whole thing. You can see that on the Feel Good Portugal or a Feel Good Astrology channel, of course. And it's been too long since me and Mrs. M have talked about Portugal on a Saturday night. So we will be doing that. That will come back at some stage. Deagle's here this morning. Bon dia, Carl, from a cold Belfast. Thankfully, the snow has not arrived. So the old hurricane or storm, what's she called? Storm Gladys. Toothless, it would seem, as I didn't really predict it. I didn't get my own seaweed out or anything like that. But Gladys doesn't sound like the most powerful. No disrespect to anyone called Gladys, but I imagine you like to be thought of as peaceful. If you're called Gladys, rather than something that can wreak havoc and throw plastic furniture around the back gardens of the United Kingdom. And actually much more serious than that, of course. But hopefully Gladys will just come and go and spin around a little bit offshore and not cause you too much problem or give you any snow this time of year, Deagle. I know you don't want snow in February. Lonnie's here. Wasn't Lonnie fantastic yesterday? Do you think we might have persuaded him to get dressed up as one of the Corretos when he goes off to Bodens with Ralph? Great to see Ralph yesterday. And actually, I'm going to go to our YouTube channel with some feedback, because there's a lovely suggestion for Ralph there and a few other bits and pieces that might be good to do. So you might have to remind me what I've got lined up for you. You've got a 2-minute taster, of course, from the Algarve, where Dougie is. We've got some lovely pictures from the Algarve, really showing up that beautiful sunshine, sunlight. The light, the quality of light in Portugal is amazing. I think we know that our 300 days or thereabouts of sunshine and the beautiful blue skies here, especially so in the Algarve, of course, and some lovely pictures to demonstrate that from Victoria, who was also spotted by our very own paparazzi, the Gumparazzi, down there in the Algarve. Some of the God Squad met up, the growing old disgracefully team. So we've got a lovely picture of the coach as well. So do remind me to show you that. We've got an Algarve, while we're in the Algarve, we've got an Algarve company that creates a happiness department, which I nearly did yesterday, but didn't. You know how we get so distracted? So can somebody help keep, can there be a distraction monitor or some sort of focus monitor here who says, yeah, what about the happiness company, please, or the company with the happiness department? There's that as well. What else have I got to tell you this morning? Can't remember now. See, how could you possibly create focus when I can't even remember what's going to be on the show? But you know what we're going to do? We're going to amble our way through until 10 o'clock this morning or thereabouts. Mama Sue, as Louisa has named her, will be joining us on the screen. Look, the studio's, we're getting ready in the studio downstairs. Looks a bit messy, doesn't it? But there's some of my trinkets on a shelf there, but at least you can't see the bags for life in that shot. I have asked, can you move the bags for life from the big shot, where Mother's going to be a little bit later on, hopefully. And of course, the doc will be joining us too. Let's go to your comments. We might look at the weather today if you want to. It was so hot yesterday in February here in Portugal. Met up with Jerry in Alcobaça. Had a great meeting in Alcobaça. Lovely place to be, of course. But February, blisteringly hot. The fam went to the lovely Green Park in Alcobaça, which is amazing. But whilst you're enjoying the sunshine in February in Portugal, you're thinking, the drought situation, this isn't good. You know, this is unseasonably warm. We got to enjoy it while it's there, of course. It'd be silly to sit there all grumpy, wouldn't it? But with this, you know, with the added thought that, my goodness, this is perhaps a little bit too hot for this time of year. And what's this going to do for the drought situation? We're keeping our eye on that. T-Duck is here. Bon dia, agria, Gampanacion. And he's got some material this morning. He's been working on some material. And I think it was Warren who writes our theme tune, of course, and came up with our coat of arms. Have you seen the coat of arms? I've been showing that for a little while, have we? Here's the coat of arms for the Gumper Nation that was just spoken of. Look at that. We've got our own coat of arms. Bon dia, Algria, Gumper Nation. And there it is. Nation de Gumpers. There with the banana slug right bang in the middle there, this is the strangest thing, isn't it? We're called Gumpers. If that wasn't difficult enough to explain to people, we also have a yellow slug, a yellow banana slug as our mascot. James, have you managed to source a full-size banana slug outfit for you to wear at our gatherings? Because someone's got to be that guy, haven't they? And do you have to do like talking of our hip-hop band names yesterday, are you going to have to sort of body pop your way, like and do the caterpillar in your yellow banana slug outfit? It's going to be hot if we meet in the Algarve, isn't it? But any road up, there is the coat of arms from Warren. And Warren was thinking that Tama Katan had rubbed off on me, so to speak. And who doesn't like to be rubbed off upon in the mornings? Depends who it is, doesn't it? But yes, he has an effect. And the effect is being felt. Has Tama rubbed off on you as well? It's got to be a better phrase than that. Here's a joke that I converted to Portuguese that he's been working hard. Barrel, dois barrel, tres barrel, ciao! It's based on the one margarita, two margarita. Is it one tequila, two tequila, three tequila, four? There you go. Barrel, dois barrel, tres barrel, ciao! I think we need to make a little meme of that. Very good. I think the Barrel company might be in touch with you. Their people might be in touch with your people, aka Mrs. Duck. to do the deal on that one. Keep it coming. Maybe you should go take that along to Tamer's comedy workshop that he has every week down there in Lisboa. Stephen Wright material then, quote of the day: light travels faster than sound. It was him who said this. This is why some people appear bright until they speak. Oh, that's not nice, is it? I think it's the duty of the comedian to find out where the line is drawn and cross it deliberately. Is that your thought, or is that a George Carlin that hasn't been accredited there? And here's one that I made up. In Portuguese, the difference between luxury and trash is the difference between you and I. I don't get it. I don't get it. That needs explaining to me. And I should have played this, shouldn't I? Especially for that one, T-Duck. That will probably be unpacked on the Bubble Off Centre podcast, which is, of course, the storm drain of the Good Morning Portugal show. It got a bit controversial this week. We were expecting that. Should have played this really for that, though.
Warning. Millennials may not understand the following comfort dad jokes.
Some of us are the parents of millennials, are we not? If I've got that demographic right. And I can hear the millennials saying, oh, Jimmy Choo's visited. It's a rare visit from Jimmy Choo. Hey, come here. Can you come say hello to everybody? Here, up. Can you see him? Oh, you're going to just sit. Come on, come right up. Up. Can you see him there? Say hello to everybody, Jimmy Choo. Oh, no, he's being a bit shy. It's not like him. Normally, he likes to run in and pull all the lights over. Good lad. Now, settle down, or you'll have to go out of the studio. And none of your special presents that you leave under the table, of any kind, I should add. Here's one that I made up. In Portuguese, the difference between luxury and trash is the difference between you and I. I'm still not getting that, and I'll explain why my voice is especially challenged this morning. There's a really good reason for that. Go and shut the door, Jimmy Choo. Go on. Oh, no, I'm getting worried. He's wandering around the lights. He'll soon get. He's still in that stage, I think, of growing up where, with the bigger paws than he can manage, and he'll end up getting a light cord wrapped around his head and then run off. He'll get disturbed by something, run off and take the lights with him. Go on, off we go. Good boy. Anyway, sorry, where was I? Yes, millennials. We are the parents of millennials, are we not? There's boomers here, aren't there? And are there Gen Xers? How would you actually? That'd be quite good. Let me ask you something on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. Let me ask you, which of those demographics are you identified as, or you're told you are? Because we don't like to be pigeonholed here, apart from calling ourselves Gumpers, of course. But we claim that for ourselves, don't we? It's not something that's been thrust upon us. And so are you Gen X? Are you a boomer? And are your children millennials? And the thing about millennials not understanding the dad jokes, they do understand them. They're really smart people, aren't they, our children? And they get them. What they would say is, it's just not funny. That just isn't funny, as they walk away thinking, actually, that was quite funny, but I can't give the parents any credit for that, especially dad. Good morning, Gumpers, from Baldylocks this morning. And the prof is here. How you doing, Baldylocks? What's California like this morning? Bon dia para os filhos da revolução, the children of the revolution. Air guitars at the ready. That's not helping my voice. Oh, hold on a minute. Nice leisure luge gag, Thunder, but you may not quite have the copyright. That does need taking to the comedy workshop that Tamer does every week. But keep going. I'm not meaning to pee on your chips, which is a nice little idiom, isn't it? Turn of phrase. Not peeing on your chips at all there. Keep it going. It's going in the right direction, definitely. Bon dia, everyone, from Jackie Grant. Morning, Jackie. How yummy to have your mummy with you today. We'll see. She's a capricious creature. She's been threatening to join us for some time now, and I've been inviting her. She may deign to join us. She might not. It's her prerogative, of course, as my mother. In Portuguese, the difference between luxury and trash is the difference between you and I. I need to put a copyright on it now. Remember where you heard it first. But still, on repetition, I'm still not getting it. Can somebody please explain that one to me? You, T-Cell, T-Duck. Does anyone know how I unblock the OLP? Now, this is the problem at the moment. The only thing we've got from the OLP is this rather sad video, which may describe the situation between the OLP and myself. That's Oregon at the moment. Is that the OLP looking out of their window, sad that they can't post a comment? How do I get them out of Gumper jail, everybody? 18. Actually, I should explain why I haven't got a frog in my throat this morning. I think I have pieces of, what is it that ends a scale, a kettle scale. Now, this morning, I came into the studio. You know, this morning, Wednesdays often, Mrs. M is talking to Rick in Bali, which is quite specific bit of information for you. But she does a live stream before me anyway, where she links up with Bali. And it was a lovely cup of tea. The studio is warm. It's like coming into a warm toilet seat, basically. And there was a lovely cup of tea here for me as I came in. And I thought, I enjoy that cup of tea. But where's my water glass gone? There's always something, when someone's working in yours. I mean, we share it, but I see it as my space, obviously. And so I'm thinking, where's my water glass gone? Actually, one of the kids might have taken that yesterday. Haven't got a water glass. I know. I'll drink all of the tea out of my teacup, my mug, and then I'll fill it with the rather good Monchique box here, Monchique, pH of 9.5, the Novo Eco Pack here in the studio. You can just, if you have a glass in it, you can top it up. I'm not going to lie on the floor and press the tap, or try that live on air. So I thought I'd drink all of my tea out of the cup, and then I can fill it up with water. So, and I'm thinking there may be some tea leaves in the bottom of this, but that's not the end of the world. I'm thinking, there are a few hard bits in here as I drank the last dregs of what was in the cup. I was thinking, those aren't soft and they don't taste like tea bags. I thought, no, that's the scale out of the kettle. So my larynx is pebble dashed with a kettle scale. I don't know what's going to happen. You're going to see that experiment unfold live in front of your eyes over the next 1 hour and 13 minutes. It's like a extra added value YouTube video. Now, what happened when this guy drank kettle scale? So let's see what happens with that. For the rest of the week, I should add as well. So you saw what was happening with the webinar there. Those of you who've joined a little bit late, we do have a wonderful US expat taxes special on the webinar tomorrow night with Greenback, the expat tax services specialist experts. Okay, so that's tomorrow night at 7:30. Then on Thursday morning, of course, we will have Vitor returning to your screens tomorrow morning. Vitor and Mia learning, you're learning Portuguese. She obviously knows how to speak Portuguese already. She of the Mia Esmeres European Portuguese Language Academy here with us. So it's always about the language, but also the culture as well. And we'll find out where she's got to with her ballet dancing and cat neutering program up there in Porto as well. Wasn't that great yesterday? Jacqueline Moulin's cats. And that was actually, let me go to that YouTube feedback, not my Facebook, YouTube feedback. And this is what Steve had to say about that. Morning, Steve M. Doug's 2-minute taster, mortgages, and caffeinated cat circus. That's entertainment. Thank you for noticing. Some rather awkward feedback from YouTube. I'm happy to share it all for discussion here. I changed my mind and will not retire to a place that is so naturally cruel to animals, almost instinctively so. My goodness. This is Flow Voices for You. Talking to us on our YouTube channel. That would be torture for me to see homeless domestic animals when no one helps and some actively seek to hurt them. Y'all can keep it and I will stay in America. Okay, fair enough. Your choice, your life, your choice. And that came up as a result. What did we say to Gilda and Tama? I think if anything, it was an outpouring of care and concern for little Mandela, wasn't there, who eaten various items around the house. No one had done that on purpose. Flow Voices for You, but they've really got the hump. Got their pennies in a bunch about that. Alegria means joy. We didn't get to that yesterday, did we? That was Paulo So on YouTube. Thank you for that and reminding us that we didn't get to that. Bon dia, Alegria. And I think, was it Antonio F who said, it's not a normal thing in Portugal, Bon dia, Alegria. It's something that's been made especially for the show. Well, I'm sure you're right that it's not sort of everyday parlance, but it turns out we've seen it in the Algarve on a mug. Deagle sent us this, didn't he, from the Algarve? Bon dia, Alegria. So it does appear occasionally around the country, but as I'm sure, as being said there, Antonio, it is not everyday parlance, but certainly it's part of our vocabulary here, isn't it? Bon dia, Alegria. Also from YouTube, we have some feedback for Ralph yesterday. Ralph, prospective event schedule. We can adjust our visits to that. So Lonnie, can you give that? If Ralph, if you're listening, this is for you. Ralph, I'm saying it like a German psychotherapist, aren't they? An Austrian psychotherapist. Ralph, please lie down and tell me about your father. Ralph, we need a Ralph. I'm trying to roll my R's. We need, who doesn't like to roll their R's of a morning? We need a Ralph prospective event schedule so we can adjust our visits to that. And that's forward planning. And that's Nubianette over there, I believe, if I remember rightly, in California. So, Ralph, if you can get your perspective, your guide out ahead of schedule, people will plan their visits here according to it. How good is that? Please pass that on, Lonnie. And Warren, a couple of comments from Warren. Haha, Carl, when your HB is full of graphite, you're hilarious. I think Tama rubs off on you. So that, going back to that comment. And our band names that we got into yesterday, you are talking about names for band members. A Brit once told me you pick your stage name. So here you go. Try this, folks. You pick your stage name by combining your pet's first name with your mother's maiden name. Try it. Mine is Brownie Colborne, and Brownie Colborne is an excellent stage name. Thank you very much, Warren, for that. Hold on a minute. What's going on? Are we doing a sound check? Mrs. M is in the dance. But the Bags for Life are still in the studio.
Oh, hang on 1 sec.
All right. As if by magic. I'm such a diva, aren't I? Get the Bags for Life out of the shot. Let me see. That's better.
Is that better?
I can still see a continent one.
I've lost the sound.
Maybe I've cut you off like I've done with other people. Well, just by putting down the headset.
Hello.
We can hear you. Please do not swear. She's lost the sound though. Okay. Oh dear, it's a good start to Mother being on the show. Okay, we'll go to 1869 now. Slavery was completely abolished in all territories under Portuguese territories. That's a great news, a great moment in history, of course, 1869. Thank you for that, Prof, this morning. He goes on to say Atlantic slave trade began in 1444 AD when Portuguese traders bought the first large number of slaves from Africa to Europe. Boo, 1444. That's a long time in it until abolition, I should say, in 1869. Bom dia, Gumpers. Como estás? You're confusing me there with your como estás. Had a fantastic day yesterday. Coffee and pastéis in Faragudu, followed by lunch. Check you out. You're going to need to do some. Drop and give me 20, Coach Turner, with Victoria and drinks with fellow expats, where I met Frank and Rachel. Mutton bem. I'm sure that should be muito bem. We need to write these down, don't we? Things you can say by accident in Portuguese. Mutton bem. Muito bem. And here is the picture evidence of that lovely meetup down there in the south yesterday. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, Victoria and Coach. Fantastic down there. And some other random people. Good morning to you as well. But how lovely. Did you get a picture of Frank and Rachel as well? Or they're a bit camera shy. But some white wine being consumed there, I think. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much. Always happy to show a Gumper picture. Mrs. M, can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Did you turn down there's a little knurly knob on the side of those headphones that changes the volume? You might have switched
No,
that.
I've got.
You've put the cheap $4.99 ones on.
Yeah, because when hang on.
You've not noticed that before, had you? The little knurler on the side.
No, hang on. We should try that out.
Oh, yeah, while you're doing that, I'm inspired by the high heel clock behind you, which is made by one
which is an interesting theme, isn't it? Seeing as somebody.
Check this out. Well, I've got it. I've got the video to play now. This is what you're all going to be wearing soon. It's coming down the boardwalk to a high street near you. I would.
What is that all about?
Would you not let me go to the shops like that? No. Okay, can you try the other headphones now,
yeah,
please?
Sure,
We've got to
sure.
get this right. Okay, pre-production live as it happens here, and we've got lots of comments, I'm sure, to get to. Fantastic. Does anyone know how I can unblock the OLP? Nobody's helped with that. Francis, unblock a commenter. Sign in to YouTube Studio. Oh, is it done on YouTube? Do I have to do it over there? So the StreamYard technology blocks them that way, does it? OLP, I think, may well, and understandably, have the hump with me. Not tuned in this morning. I can't get a response from the OLP. The champagne sangria, the God scored enjoy. He kept that quiet. It just showed a modest glass of wine there. and we have a sangria to share with you as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to show you what they were drinking a little bit after that more refined photograph was taken. And the other folks in the pictures there, Victoria, is it okay to share those? Have we got their permission there? Who have you got with you in those photos? Some other expats who showed up, of course, but I feel like I should have their permission to do that. So yes, thank you for that, Francis. And it wasn't mutton, it was muito. How's that now, Mrs. M?
It's perfect. Oh, I can hear you. I can't hear me talking, however.
Well, you won't be able to because you're not in the studio. That's how it works. You don't get hold back.
Okay, yeah.
You only get that in this environment. I'm sure lots of people will be glad to see you on the screen, let alone the pinnacle of my broadcasting career when I bring my own mother. Bring your mum to work day today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm just testing this out for your mum for when she joins the show.
Well,
she's just getting ready now.
You're far more than a fluffer, I can tell you that. Didn't you have something to say astrologically, numerologically about tutu yesterday?
Yes, I had lots to say about it. But you have to go and look at my video to find out.
See what she did there. Do you see what she did there? Bon dia, alegria, todos. Ho, you're all good. Lovely.
I'm well, thanks.
How rude is he?
Oh, that's very rude, calling me ho. I mean, he doesn't even know me.
Honestly, Frank, I hope he's going very red in South Africa. Cape Town this morning. Happy Hump Day for the next 3 centuries. Oh, seriously, for a minute, back to the abolition, thankfully, of slavery in Portugal. For the next 3 centuries, Portuguese used their colony in Angola as a base of operations to ship more than 2 million enslaved Africans to Brazil. Yeesh. Olá, bom dia a todos e feliz quarta-feira de Amsterdam. So, is your Portuguese up to standard for that?
Who, me? I'm feeling kind of brave enough. Hello, good morning to everybody here. Have a happy day, kind of thing. Happy is it Thursday today? No, it's Wednesday today.
You fell for that. Yeah, it is
from Amsterdam. It is Wednesday today, isn't it?
We'll let you do the weather, but not the days of the week. Random info. At one time, more than 1/3 of all living in. This is unbelievable, isn't it? This is our past, human beings.
Hello. Sorry to interject. Random info. We're all slaves.
Oh, she goes. Hoje termina o sétimo e último curso de formação português europeu sobre Memrise. Oh, I get from that he's using Memrise.
Yeah.
A partir agora isto tudo na repetição. So I think Matty's enjoying himself. That's good, isn't it?
Repeatedly. He's repeatedly enjoying himself. That sounds a bit naughty. Is that part of your Gumper?
I don't think he's enjoying himself over and over again, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I think I should go. I fluffed enough this morning, haven't I?
You're not really helping here. Okay, let's see how much filth you can generate with a few more comments.
Okay.
You have to find their channel. Click the flag in the upper right and choose unblock. So is that on YouTube then? Okay, I've got to do that. I don't want this to persist between me and the OLP, original gangster OLP. Could get
what's OLP? Is that one of your...
You obviously don't watch the show. Oregonians Loving Portugal, one of our regulars here.
Okay. What, have they been blocked?
I did it by accident yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. Bon dia, folks. Can't stay long, but checking in all the same. Bit like Mrs. M. And James is here as well. Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz quarta a todos. Estudar de português por 60 minutos on time. Very good. Good job there. And boosting up from the 15 minutes there. Jim is in Germany. Bon dia, Gumpers, from a sunny Wiesbaden for a change. It's funny, isn't it? As soon as you decide to move, it gets sunny in Germany, I've noticed. got the countdown calendar going. 16 days until retirement, 17 days until we leave Germany, and 23 days until we're finally in Portugal for good. He's not hanging about, is he?
Jim, what are you doing in between day 17 and 23? That's what I want to know.
You see, she's investigative by nature. I'd have just respected your privacy. She's probing you.
No, I'm fascinated. Like, he's put it out. He's put his plans out into the public domain. I want to know what you're doing. Is it something good? How are you celebrating?
Fascination, aka nosiness. Light cloud here in the Algarve this morning, so perfect day for a long walk. Very good. Jill Scott, long walk. I've played that once or twice in the house, haven't I? Esa de Queros' quote, an Englishman should not be put in charge of StreamYard. Citation needed.
How rude.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
how rude.
I think I've tested this out. Is this working okay for everybody?
It sounds fantastic. We can't
Let
wait
us
to
know.
see Mother on the screen. Thank you very much.
All
Thank
right,
you very much.
bye-bye.
Another cup of tea would be great. Okay, is here on the Campus. And I've got a question here. Is there something like a Chamber of Commerce in Portugal where you need to register your business? Kammer van Koophandel in the Netherlands there. Well, you don't have to. I mean, to open an activity is what they call it when you start a business here, Matty. So you have to register that at Finances. But in terms of networking, in terms of chamber type networking, you have to, you can do, it's optional. And actually, after this show today, there is a Why Portugal webinar put on by the, Mrs. M is trying to distract me now. Okay. Did you get my message about a cup of tea? You feel marvelous today.
Yeah, I really do.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Marvelous and cheeky.
The tea should be good then. And hold on a minute. So yes, after today's webinar, after today's show, there is a webinar. Concentrate, Carl, from the British Chamber of Commerce. So there's definitely a British Chamber of Commerce, and they're doing a Why Portugal webinar, which I'm going to pop along to actually. So I might see you there after the show. If you search British Chamber of Commerce and Why Portugal, I think that's what it's called. Might see you there, Matty. But you don't have to register. But I think most of the partner countries, business partner countries of Portugal, probably the Netherlands, and certainly the Brits, as I've just told you there, do have a chamber. You don't have to register, but you can if you want, for a little bit of networking power. Other networking groups are available. Canopy is a great one. Shout out to Stu there. Stuart, whose second name evades me now. Does anyone else know Stuart at Canopy? Canopy is a great networking organization and a sort of startup incubator enabler kind of organization, and they can connect you with funding, premises, all sorts, consultants, great company. Stuart Noakes at Canopy, look him up. Super fun day of lunch and expats, meet up with Ian Turner and wife Leslie. So lovely to meet you both in person. Sending photo to Carl, and we've shown that. Fantastic. Peter Belich, thank you, Victoria. Bom dia. Realmente bom para tua mãe a supervisionar-te, Carl. Was that good to have your mum bossing you about? Supervisionar, I'm thinking, yeah. Talvez espetáculo com menos insinuações. What is that? Double entendres? Maybe some spectacular insinuations. I think that is double entendres, isn't it? Good morning, Gumpers. I was allowed back after 5 minutes. Hope the same for OLP. No, I think it was different. I think I put you on the naughty step, Suze. Whereas with the OLP, maybe I should try and do that live now because I feel so bad about it, quite honestly. So I think no, I can't. It's probably in settings. If I can do it quickly now, I will. And then we can see the OLP back. Community, is it under community? Oh, look, hidden users, approved users, blocked. Well, that's interesting. But you'd obviously need to know there's so many people. Oregonians, thank you. I can do it. I can remove Oregonians from being blocked. Who else is in here? There are loads of people. I didn't block them. Maybe they've been blocked. Oh, because, yeah, webcam, hot girls and boys vid. Yes, of course, that's why they got blocked there. But I can't see anyone else who might have had the hump with me and been angry for ages. You're back. You are back. We've released the OLP. Thank you for the group effort on that. So, yes, you were on the naughty step, Suze. I can do it again if you like. If I go to somebody's comment, I have the incredible power here to put a user in timeout or block them. I block the OLP, and you are back, OLP. Phew. Bon dia, Carl. Itoros. Thank you for helping me with that, everybody. Says Moaz, good morning to you. And I'm wondering, here we go. Anyone got any experience of this? I'm wondering if there are rules for setting up a table at a market. Just pay or have to register with them, residency permit required, or do they vary? I'd be really surprised if you don't have to register yourself, quite honestly. I don't think it'll be expensive, but you probably will have to register. But that's just a guess. Has anyone done that? Pam, do you know the answer to that if you're tuned in this morning? Bon dia todos from Porto. Didn't make enough of a fuss of you yesterday, Jim. It was great to have your company. And are you girding your loins and getting ready to go see Tama perform on Friday night? He is, of course, at that place. Sada Bandera, is it called? He is there on Friday. And here is the flyer for that. Tama, an American, of course, and a Romanian, his mate Victor Patrashkahan, walk into a bar. Stand-up comedy show in English. And I think probably Tama will bust the move a little bit in Portuguese as well. He was telling us about, wasn't he, learning Portuguese, and that was really impressive. So here we go. Special birthday greetings this morning to Terence John Austin. I can't believe how young he looks. I want whatever he has got there. It's a sense of humor, isn't it? Not that you haven't, Pete, but it's keeping all of us young, isn't it? Having a bit of a giggle. And he really, I mean, I just only have to be within about 10 feet of Terence, and I can smell his sense of humor. He rubs off on me. He's another one. And I start giggling. That's part of it, I think, Pete. What a lovely fella with a smashing family. Yes, here. Happy birthday. Parabéns a você to you, Terence. This morning. Scubs is here. Bon dia all from Adelaide. Good morning to you, Scubs. Great to have you here. And Nubianet, thank you for your feedback on the Bubble Off Centre. Maybe we'll pick that up on Friday. Happy quarta-feira. And I do like the cut of your jib and what you were saying there. And COVID Evagate continues. Peter Bleach, after 2-week isolation and not being near my car, I found it with 3% left on the battery and warning 12-volt battery needs to be replaced soon. Need to go to Tesla. Well, make sure you've got enough charge to get to Tesla. Wouldn't that be ironic if your car didn't have enough charge to get back to the creator, to the mothership? I like the Portuguese in your posts. I use DeepL and it means for the children of the revolution. Yes, thank you. It helps in our learning of your beautiful language. Obrigado. Yeah, keep them coming. Absolutely. Mix it up, folks. I may not be able to translate, but I don't want anyone to stop doing it. Good evening from Sydney, Australia, from Sam Nazare. Thank you for your feedback yesterday as well, Sam. Noted. Morning all from Elra. Where you been? And bon dia, Carl's mum, Yippee. What have you heard, Jack Polly? Unblock a commenter. There you go. Thanks, Sam Nazare. Thank you, everybody, for chipping in with that. And Simone's in Cape Town as well this morning. Good morning, all from Simone. And Simone, I'm reminded, seeing you there, about your reference to Mrs. M. Please don't think me rude. I will get back to it. Sometimes the messages get buried. I will come back to you on that or resend, and let's strike up that conversation. I would love to talk to you about that. Antonio, aforementioned, bon dia todos. Good morning to you, Antonio. Always love your input into the show. No costume or worming, but you can call me Slug. I can imagine you sat at a bar at a Gumper gathering like Bill Murray, drinking on a whiskey in a turtleneck like this, late in the evening. Most people have gone to bed. James Holly's there. Maybe smoking for the occasion, drinking on a whiskey or bourbon. Someone comes up and he says, take a seat. Would you like a drink? You can call me Slug. Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe. Is that you, James? Maybe. Can OLP have a new account? No need, Diggle. We've sorted it. Chow equals floor. Okay, so let's not point people towards the floor. I think we're getting mixed up with our chow, TCHAU, chow, rather than that sort of chow floor. That was George Carlin. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, the lines. Oh, and Lujo versus Lijo, luxury and trash. There you go. Thank you very much for that explanation. Nubianet, this enslavement for people has never been fully acknowledged as a crime against humanity. And as it quite rightly should and could be. Thank you, Nubianet, for that. Went to the doctors yesterday. Is this a joke? I haven't seen you for a while, Mr. Orgles. And I said, I know, I've been ill. So I think that is Gary Orgles, isn't it? We can deduce from that comment there. Portuguese dream, I like it. I think another YouTube channel in the making, everybody. One for certainly every day of the week, right? Bon dia, os todos. We can have our own channel. Why don't we put them all together on a network? Isn't that a good idea? Did someone else think of that? Josh and Kaylee, maybe? Bon dia, Jean. Jean is here. Bon dia, os todos. Good morning to you, Jean. How are you? How's New Jersey? This morning. I'm giggling because I'm looking at this. Badass Boomer in the house. And I support Is that sport? I support peace and justice. Well, quite right too, Penny. I would expect nothing less from you and your Facebook profile there. That's a nice little logo there. What's that about? But Jean, how are you doing? Let us know. And following Stephen Wright, it is better to keep your mouth closed and let people think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. Mark Twain, thank you very much for that from James. The doc, feeling in a sort of, 10 minutes, he says. He hasn't forgotten us. He hasn't forsaken us. And my mother, quite rightly, is taking her time, making us wait, as is her prerogative. Bob and Viv. Oh, no, that's something else. My collection of Portuguese mugs, 100% bought along the Algarve over many trips. We need to feature the many mugs of the Algarve as well. We haven't done, so let's stay with the Algarve. And before we got the doc, let's conclude with the Algarve this morning before we come back into the Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday business. Let's share the pickies from Victoria from the day before yesterday. These are absolutely beautiful. Little photo documentary. Not this one, but this was funny. Sent in from Francis yesterday, talking about drinking coffee. I think that bit of the meme is being hidden. If I take that off from it. No, it's not. I need to cut. Oh, no, it says it right there in the first line. I need to cut back on my caffeine intake. I thought these were baby dinosaurs. No, and I don't know what they are. They're going from right to left, everybody, not from left to right. What are those creatures? And what, excuse me, the old kettle scale is kicking in now. Slicing my larynx. I need to, although it's probably quite a good form of calcium, isn't it? I need to cut back on caffeine. I thought those were baby dinosaurs. Thank you very much for that, Francis. Let us then go to these lovely pictures with Victoria in the Algarve. This is Olhão, I believe. Look at these lovely windows. Beautiful azulejos, ancient azulejos, the tile work around the balcony. Wouldn't you like to open that window of a morning and celebrate your new life there, looking out over that view possibly in Olhão? Isn't that beautiful? And another balcony there to look at. That one's slightly overgrown, but nice and rustic. A bit of wild forest gardening, you might call that. Olhão, of course, Cidade de Olhão, something else there. I can't read that because the sun's too blooming bright. Lots of lovely eateries there, and Docha's pizza shop down there, and a barber shop. Of course, the international sign of the barber shop, the swirling banner of the barber shop. And a mini, a proper mini, a real mini, and that is a nice red mini. That's got to be from the 60s or 70s in the UK, isn't it? Now finding itself in Olhão of an evening. And one more time, look at that. There's Coach Turner, and this is God Squad, isn't it? Half the God Squad. Victoria herself, the great photographer of those pickies, and Coach Turner. We can go to the dock in just a minute. I just want to conclude life down in the Algarve with a very quick 2-minute taster. Time for the doc to grab himself a coffee if he wants to. Today's 2-minute taster from Doug. Doc and Doug, they clashed many a time, didn't they, in the wine club? It's your old mate, Dougie, on the screen now, Doug, with his love of the Algarve, this time in Silvish.
Thank you very much indeed, Carl. It's kind of late in the day, but I've arrived in Silvish. And yes, this is another one of our 2-minute tasters. Silvish apparently used to be the capital of the Algarve, but that distinction has now gone over to Faro, of course. This is a park that pays homage to the region's Islamic heritage, and it's really very, very nicely done. The usual labyrinth of streets with all manner of eateries. And of course there is a castle. Well, if you weren't fit when you got here, you may well be by the time you leave. Just to give you an idea of the gradients. For some reason there aren't that many fat people in Silvish. Kind of makes me feel left out a bit. Here we have the king of the castle. He's quite slim as well, actually. And, of course, the whole point of having castles on hills is because you get a pretty good view on the whole. And if that focus is in, that ain't bad, is it? Watching your orange grow, or oranges in plural, because all that's another orange plantation. Now, it's probably highly illegal to even come into this town without availing of some of the fresh orange juice made from the products that are grown over the aquifer nearby. Well, that sadly brings our 2-minute taster from Silvage to an end. So I'm going to hand you back over now to Mr. Carl Munson, who's ready to take you right through the rest of the show. So, good morning all.
Hey, you remember him, don't you, Doc?
I certainly do. Hola, bom dia a todos. Yeah, Doug, my old mate. Funnily enough, he insisted he was a Tory, but he virtually disagreed with almost every Tory policy I cared to chuck at him. So yeah, good fun.
Yeah, well, I'm a Tory, but not that policy.
And
not that one either. Oh, and actually not that one either. Bless it. The sound of his voice must bring back wonderful memories of the wine club and those lock-ins we used to have afterwards, where the mere mention of Margaret Thatcher would bring about another 2 hours of heated conversation. Thank you so much. Oh, good news, Doc. You were quite sad because you'd broken your Good Morning Portugal mug.
Yes.
I have a new one for you. It's not this one, don't worry. I have a new one for you when we meet next. So
thank you so much. I was gonna send you a photo that we talked about. I will do, but I've been a bit busy recently.
Were you getting ready to go to the Chinese shop then and get some super glue and put it back together? You won't have to.
Well, I thought about it. But now I've had all sorts. I was back in the UK for 24 hours picking my kids up in the middle of the storm at the weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun. I'll be doing the same thing in reverse. Well, I will still be going forwards, but doing the thing.
Hard work. Reversing back to England.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to Marcus and Lewis, who are probably sat on the sofa in the apartment watching this. I'm in the car park of our co-op in Marinha Grande.
You're a star. You're a star. And I did say to you, do you want to take the week off because your kids are here? But it's very kind of you to be so committed and dedicated to the Gumper cause here and answer any questions about Portugal alongside me here and my mum. Possibly a little bit later on, you get to meet my mum, Doc, and everybody else. She's not sat in the studio yet. We're waiting for her to join us there. But yeah, anything. Of course, Doc was a GP back in the UK and can answer those sort of medical questions. But obviously, an expat loving life in Portugal as well, and can answer pretty much anything about coming here, moving here, and the adjustments and the enjoyments that are all part and parcel of being here in Portugal. Are your kids enjoying themselves?
They are. They're very impressed by the lack of litter, the lack of rowdy behaviour, the beautiful environment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. My mum was saying this yesterday. She may well talk about it when she comes on. But we were out having some noodles at the shopping centre yesterday, as we got into the habit of doing. And the kids were coming in, gangs of teenagers, Portuguese kids. And she was saying, this is amazing. They're so well behaved. She's done this thing, I think, back in the UK, which a lot of people do. She's to tune gangs of kids out when she's on the bus. You know that moment, some people might be able to relate to this. You're on a bus, minding your own business, and then you suddenly realize, oh my word, it's school chucking out time. Any minute now, 100 teenagers are about to get on the bus with their exuberant behavior, which can border on the antisocial. And you just have to put yourself in your own little bubble, don't you, and hope that nobody points and laughs at you, because then it could go horribly wrong on the bus. But not here in Portugal. The kids are so wonderfully respectful. My theory about it, Doc, is that they're so loved as children. And that they grow into that. And, they go out, they have lunch together, they have dinner together as teenagers. But I suppose they're also used to going out with the family as well. Do you think there's some truth in my theory there?
I think there probably is. But having said which, I don't think that unloved children have the monopoly on antisocial behaviour. I've known and possibly been an unloved child who was quite capable of antisocial behaviour at times. I think it's more than that.
Yes,
You know,
I think it's got to help, though, isn't it? I mean, last night we had that wonderful moment where a Portuguese old lady just comes up and says how wonderful your children are, which is so lovely. And I think it does help. I totally get your point, but I think it does help that children grow up here and are so admired. Leona is here.
Well, she is, but she didn't want to. She said, don't you dare put the camera on me. She said, so I didn't mention her. However, she had to interject and point out that I said unloved. I meant loved. I was very much loved, but capable of antisocial behaviour.
Well, I think we can all believe that, Doc. We can all believe. You're still doing it. What are you talking about?
What's not to love? Oh, get antisocial behaviour bit. Okay.
Super. And thank you to Doug, by the way, for these Silvish 2-minute taster. We're loving those, and it's great to hear his voice again. And perhaps, maybe when the wine club comes back together again, as I'm sure it will, the debates will have a different tone to them, won't they? After the most recent political administration, certainly in the UK, and maybe others that are available. Okay, so we've got a Faixa do Dia. I thoroughly approve of this. Hola, bom dia todos. Faixa do Dia, Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. Just a great track. It absolutely is. Rod Temperton, I think, the genius behind that. And we did have a little chat, didn't we, Doc, about, we don't want to give too much away, do we? But music festivals. We're well up for it, putting something on, aren't we? In summers to come here, getting the gumpers together, having a dance, have something nice to eat, have a little bit of a drink, and throw a few shapes.
Absolutely. We'll, it's early days yet, but certainly very much on the agenda.
Yeah, superb. Okay, there's been a dad joke situation. I'm sure you've had a chance to share a few dad jokes with your kids being around. This joke has taken some explaining here. Lujos in Portuguese equals trash. So we are learning whilst we're decoding this joke. Thank you. We don't want to put you off, T-Duck. Keep them coming. Trash is leisure. Lujos is luxury. Hence difference in the U and the I. That's a really clever joke. But I hate to explain jokes, says Matty. And Prof says, I think the joke should come with a PowerPoint explanation. That'd be an interesting. Wouldn't it be great to do a PowerPoint on stage as a stand-up? You come on. I'd just like to share a few slides with you and have the helicopter sound effect coming in with the explanation. Keep them coming, OT Duck. We are not putting you off. Bon dia, Antonio. Jean has rejigged her tech to get us onto the show and to chat with us, which is fantastic. An old Gen X. Says Nubian. How do you identify? I'll come to you in a minute, Doc. A boomer, a Gen X. It's cold and a bit moist in North Cali. We got a bit of rain yesterday. OMG, it's 4:39, just before 1 a.m. That's very cold for us. So an old Gen X. Where would you put yourself in those funny demographics, Doc?
I've tried to avoid being pigeonholed. I was born in 65, which probably ought to make me a bit of a technophobe, but actually I was always an early adopter. My politics are very much of the sort of 1968 generation. So yeah, a bit of a mixture, really.
Of course you are. Hard to. I won't be put in a box. So these are Tesla talk here. I have had to stop doing the light show because of my 12-volt battery. At least you are nearer a Tesla center than we are in Amsterdam. Have you seen the Tesla light show?
No, I haven't. Although that might be because I didn't go to admire Matty's Tesla when Leona and Alicia went down to gaze at it adoringly. That's not because I didn't want to see it. It was because I was too knackered and it was too far away. So no, I haven't seen it. It's the short
Stop showing off. Yeah, stop showing off with your light show. It's ruining your battery. But it's quite. I've seen it. I've seen Nunu's. It's quite amazing. It's like Jean-Michel Jarre has hijacked your car for a couple of minutes. Zennials, okay, Gen X, millennials, okay, are the micro generation of people on the cusp of Gen X and millennial. Using birth years from the late 70s to the early 80s, they're described as having had analog childhood and a digital young adulthood. So we're before that, aren't we? Unless you include your Spectrum and BBC.
Well, that's strange because we had computers at school. We had the ZX Spectrum. We had the BBC Micro. We had the Apricot. We had the early Apple. So and that was at school. So I think the time frame's a bit shifted there.
Yeah, but come on, be fair, Doc. I mean, with your ZX Spectrum, what did you do? You spent 90 minutes of IT lesson to putting in 5 lines of code. Yeah, yeah, or making it
actually, we were exceptionally. I mean, 3 of us were exceptionally productive on the apricot, and we used to build wireframes and rotate them round various points in space. And if we'd had the inclination, we could have built the one of the first frameworks for 3D games, but we didn't. We just used to enjoy doing it.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, you couldn't go on the internet, and probably that's a good thing, right? Because you'd have truncated or pulled forward your political career and lobbying, I suspect, if you had access.
I'd have been locked up for hacking defense computers.
Quite. A merciful quirk of history there saved you from that. And the rest of us, morning people, it's blowing a hoolie at the moment here in Portugal from Abel this morning. Come on, where are these questions? Ask anything about Portugal. We're too busy chatting as a community here. Bon dia from Brian. And Suze is here, baby boomer, a time when mom would say, go out to play. Come home by the time the streetlights come on. Yes.
As she packed us a breakfast and a lunch in a plastic bag.
Yeah, and the only kind of health and safety advice you got was don't be silly or something like that, wasn't it? Behave yourself.
It was don't land on your head.
Don't land on your head. Don't get and behave nicely, or don't do anything stupid, that sort of thing. And that was it. Yeah. That was the advice you were given for several hours out there. While Mum got on with whatever she got on with back at base. Yes, I saw the videos and did some research. Oh, I think this is more Tesla talk there. Bon dia todos. Hold on, what's going on here? We got some. What's happening here, Doc? Fishing Tamar.
Bon dia.
What? Who's that?
I want to eat. I'm going to eat. I need to eat.
Unexpected item in the bagging area here. What's going on? There's a lot of surprises this morning. Owen, what one?
I'm fishing to eat, man.
All right. So who else is
You're gonna go hungry, mate.
Have we got a birthday boy here?
I think we have the man himself. The man himself, 60 years old today.
All right, we'll do the first line in Portuguese, and then we'll go to Terence. Good morning to you, sir. On the water.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well. Should we sing it to him? And if he could join in, let's frighten all the fish away. Parabéns, você. Parabéns, você. Happy birthday, dear Terence. Happy birthday to you. Birthday love and many more. Lots of love to you. Terence coming in from all around the world this morning.
And especially Carl and all the guys out there. I mean, obviously, you want to know now, me reaching the grand old age of 60, what I've learned in life.
Yes,
One
please.
very important thing is not to sit on a riverbank at this time in the morning and get no bites or anything of that nature. That's one lesson I've really learned.
You made a nice friend with the dog, didn't you?
Yeah, I made a nice friend with the French dog, and I had a conversation with the French lady in half Portuguese, half French. My French is very bad. My Portuguese is not much better, but we managed to trocas palavras, which means
very good.
Palavras.
Did you say enchanté, madame?
Enchanté, enchanté. No, I said au revoir, madame.
Madame, excellent stuff. So, is this what's happening? Is this the birthday treat today that the bro has sorted out?
Yeah. The super bro, super Garvo, he's treated me like a king, and I'm enjoying myself. It's quite nice just to sit here and not do anything, you know. And relax.
That's what fishing is.
Emotion person.
Yes. And this is why fishing is one of the biggest sports, let's call it a sport, hobby around the world, right?
It is one of the biggest sports around the world, and it kind of takes you back to your childhood, really. You know, that's one of the great things, because I can come and sit here with the great Garvo and Owen of the Lloyd Martin fame, and you know, it's basically we just put three kids out on a bit of a jolly, really, sort of lads jokes and all of that. So it's regression really that I am experiencing today.
Well, to be honest, Carl, right, is what is put out there today is something like a tow rope and a grappling iron.
Yeah, I'm desperate. It doesn't even cover it.
Well, Terence, I did want to ask you about your tackle.
Yeah, magnificent.
And the doctor's here if you've got any concerns about it as well.
The phrases are magnificent and mighty, I think.
Very good.
Which, I don't know if the doc can pass any kind of comment on that. I'm sure he would be interested.
What, as a specimen? Okay. Okay. Have a super day, gentlemen. What can you, for people who are wondering what on earth is going on here? We've got a doc. We've got a man celebrating his birthday fishing in Tamar. Tamar, of course, is in central Portugal. How do you go fishing in Tamar for those people who are coming to Portugal who want to take up such a hobby?
Okay, great question. The best thing to do is get yourself a license from the multi-bank. It's really cheap. It's only about €12. And you can choose various zones in Portugal. We're fishing in the central zone. But it's really quite simple. And the other great thing is about the guys in Portugal, if you go to the bank and get the cashier to guide you through the process, they're very happy to do so. And then, therefore, you're kind of on your way, really. You can fish in either fresh water, or if you buy a saltwater rod license, you can fish anywhere along the coast. So it's just an excuse really to dangle a line in the water, pass time with a lovely day, and just enjoy.
So where are you? I mean, Tamar, people know of the convent and the Templar history. Where is this? Is this on the river in the middle of town?
It is. There's the one bridge and the other bridge is behind us. Then you can see the monastery on the hill just up there in the distance.
Yes, you can. So you can see the monastery in the distance and you can fish in the river in the town.
Well, if I spin round, you'll actually see that we're in front of the market.
That's amazing. I thought you were in the middle of nowhere. And there you are, right in the
No. If you don't manage to catch any fish, you can always go and buy one and pretend.
Well, that was my thought. You can cover that.
Superb. Okay, well, I think we've disturbed you long enough. We need to get back to the contemplation of your dangling your tackle in the water.
And all the people that wish me happy birthday out there in Portugal land, all over the world, actually. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's
Owen, give us a wave.
See you later, mate.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Cole.
Better be cooking that fish. Have a great day, gentlemen, and come back later and watch all the comments that will surely come in. Fantastic. Cheers, Garvo. Great Garvo. Isn't that lovely? What a lovely treat he's put on for his brother on his 60th birthday there. That's fantastic. And of course, Portugal, the country where you can buy a fishing license from the Multibanco ATM. It's fantastic, isn't it? And here's somebody who's up for the wine club reunion. Penny's up for that, and probably the lock-ins. Well, she used to get quite cross with Dougie, though, didn't she, as I remember? So we have got some answers. Just a little. We've got some answers to the questions. Hold on, I need to scroll back. We have missed a lot, Doc. We've got some catching up to do here because we've set all sorts of conversational hairs coursing this morning. Perhaps one needs more Portuguese skill to understand the humour. It's true. Humour really can be subtle and challenging, and we know that T-Duck is doing his best there. Keep them coming. Brian's in, as we saw, and Bon dia todos from the Porky Feet. Andy, saying hi before we shoot off to the CTT in Oliveira de Bairro, I think that is, in the Bairrada region, on the motorbike halfway, and then walk the rest and back again. Was a hot walking back from lunch at the market yesterday. It was a hot day yesterday in Portugal, wasn't it, Doc?
It was gorgeous. Yeah, we went up to Porto yesterday and had a lovely day up there. The first time I've really explored Porto, and the first time Leona had been, and the kids as well. So yeah, it was good.
Brilliant. You'd recommend it?
Yeah, we did a few things, but the kids climbed up the Torre dos Clerigos. and we took in the view from the south side up there at the forgotten the name of the place. Anyway, gorgeous, and just drank a big beer in a nice shady square while the kids explored.
Oh, brilliant. Lovely
Yeah.
job. Okay. Bon dia alegria, not a regular expression, but can be used like any others among family or friends. And that is us right here. And actually, talking of family or friends, look, it's my mum.
You won't get to hear yourself because but Carl can hear you. And
Okay. I think we went in a bit too early there, didn't we? We'll come back But family or friends it is this morning. All around us, neutering cats and dogs is being a worldwide policy when the numbers get out of hand and the street animals suffer from lack of food maltreatment. I don't think that lady who was complaining on YouTube was talking about that necessarily. I mean, that's got to be quite a good thing to do, isn't it? That Mia does, and we'll talk to her about that on Friday. Pet name and mum's maiden name were common security questions. Don't give those out on Facebook surveys. Very good. Warren, what are you like? Moaz, oh wow, we're going to see mum. Maybe she'll tell us funny stories about little Carl. I think she's excited about that already, everybody. Children always get embarrassed when parents talk. I'm going red already. Let's bring her on, shall we, Doc?
Yeah.
Look, everybody. It's
Hi, mum.
Bon dia.
Look at that. He's hit the ground running with a bon dia. Mother, very, very good. You say you're not good at languages, but that's a great start. Can Louisa maybe lift you up a bit?
I have to learn.
Hidden by
Oh.
or tilt the camera down or something like that. That'd be great. We want to see your beautiful face, Mother.
That's my beautiful assistant here.
I thought she was going to say that's my beautiful son. We've got a doctor here. Now, that's not because we needed a doctor on standby. It was a complete coincidence that the doc is he can answer questions about anything medical here in Portugal. And we've had some fun, haven't we, Mum? You know, getting prescriptions over here. The first question to ask you, Mum, if you've got any questions about Portugal, ask them, because we've got a fantastic community here. I'm so proud and delighted to have you here with us. What's going on now? I never get that treatment. Anyway, if you've got any questions about Portugal, do chip in with them. That's you, Mother, and anyone else. That's what we do on a Wednesday. But a good one to start with, and I think the doc can answer this. What's the best place for people to buy at the best value prescriptions if they need to top up a prescription if they're staying here in Portugal, Doc?
The main thing is if you haven't got registration with a doctor yet, and you can't get in to see a doctor at the local health centre, which you actually technically are able to, whether you're registered or not. So there is emergency and urgent care for every person in the country, just as in the NHS in the UK.
Good to know.
But if you can't get there, if you go in there and they say, yes, we'll give you an appointment in 2 weeks, and you've got 2.5 days worth of medication left, you can walk into a pharmacist and say, I need this to top up my prescription. I can't get into doctor or so-and-so. They will charge you the standard price, and you ask for the generic version. They will charge you the standard price. But if you then come back later with a prescription for that item, they will then refund you the difference between the standard price and the prescribed price.
That's amazing. That's great to know, isn't it?
Thank you.
Very, very good.
And if you still have problems doing that, then the sort of last resort would be to walk into an A&E.
Really? So no one need go without here in this wonderful country, and much will be done to assist.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Thank you, Doc, for that. That's really good to know, isn't it, Mother?
May I ask that my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters, is going to send my medication over. Do I have to pay duty on that? Because it's for personal use.
She's not selling them. She's not selling them to other people on the street in Rossio.
The answer is that technically it wouldn't be. Well, technically it might not be lawful because it would depend on what the medication was, whether it was licensed generically in Portugal or anywhere else in the EU. So it's not a course of action I would recommend, although I do know people who have successfully stuck tablets in a jiffy bag and they have eventually arrived, although it has to be said they took 3 months to get from the UK to Portugal, so it's not something I'd advise.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of moving parts and sort of possibilities for things going wrong in that possibility, aren't there? Or that doing it that way, it could work, but it's a bit of a hit and miss, I think. Certainly with the post coming from the UK now. Mother, you're very
help.
Not at all.
No,
We're going to find out how you're enjoying Portugal and our hospitality. I pointed out that you haven't asked for the complaints book yet at our house. You know, you can do that in Portugal in any establishment. But I'm
I feel sorry for my daughter-in-law because she's been stuck with me since December. So I'm going to send out an SOS on her behalf. How to get rid of mother-in-law or grandmothers?
Sue, we've felt sorry for your daughter-in-law for a very long time.
I know, the poor girl.
Not before you arrived.
I think he's referring to me. I think he's referring to me there. Okay, so look at this. People wanted to say we're going to hide you with some of the comments. No, we're not. We can do this instead. We'll put you up the top there. Oh, that's better. Hola, bon dia, alegria, Mrs. Sue. Bon dia, Carl's mum from Victoria, the Algarve. What a sweet lady, says Moaz in New York. Look, you got a new friend in New York this morning. Sweet Sue, you know Cindy B, don't you, of course? Yay, Carl's mother. Hola from Nubianet in Northern California.
Hola.
Bon dia, Mama Sue, as well, from Antonio F, a real Portuguese man. She needs a phone book to sit on, says Prof. Bon dia, Mum, says Deagle. This is very nice. Thank you, everybody, for making Mother feel so comfortable this morning. Okay, so what are you enjoying here? What are your impressions of Portugal? Because you have been here before. You've been to Madeira and you've been, I think, to the Algarve previously, or not?
Yes. No, not to the Algarve. No,
not the Algarve. But this is the third visit to us. And how are you enjoying it this time? A nice change from storm hit UK at the moment.
Indeed. I just love the Portuguese. I always found them from my days in Malacca, as the history would say, that the Portuguese were there for 150 years, and they did a jolly good job there. And also, I noticed yesterday and the time before on the beach, the youngsters here are really, really a credit to their parents, and they are also a credit to, if they're representing their country, they are a credit to their country, because I never heard one swear word, and they were so lovely. And I just love Portugal. And also, since I've been here, I met with some expats, and they're lovely people, and I'm glad they all want to come. Hopefully I can get to come back a bit more often in the future.
Yeah, we hope so too. What's a phone book? Asks the millennial. We'll explain that to anyone who needs to.
It's a very bad way of using up several trees.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing to think. And then they were in the phone boxes as well, weren't they? You could step into a phone box and they'd flip up, wouldn't they? So you could ring random people up, as kids often did, talking about well-behaved or not kids. Hola, bon dia. Donna Sue, you're being called here. Grandmas are the best. And Joao F., another real Portuguese man. Special greetings to Carl Luisa, Carl's mum, and the doc this morning. And from Filomena, look at this. Muito beijinhos para Donna Sue, from our very special friend Filomena this morning. Oh, and look, let's all demand Carl's mum come every Wednesday or we go on strike. They're an unruly bunch, but I think the doc would be happy to be the shop steward, right? For the Good Morning Portugal.
Yeah.
Hola, Sue, from another nonna here. Okay. Oh, and bon dia, Sue. Hope you're having a great vacation in Portugal. So any questions? We've got Donna Sue here. We've got the doc, you've got me, and we've got the collective wisdom. And we've got 15 minutes to go here on the Good Morning Portugal show. We're just having a nice time hanging out so far, aren't we? But thank you for answering that about prescriptions and medications. And I'm just scrolling up to see
thank you
if we do have any other questions. Have you got any questions, Mother, about Portugal that have been a bit of a mystery to you? I know you want to learn the language. How are you finding that?
Oh, very difficult. I'm not the best. I'm not the best for languages, and I'm really truly useless for. And I find it a bit difficult. But I should have to, what I call put on concerted effort to learn greetings, etc. I know a few different words, but I get a bit tongue-tied when it comes to the actual practice, because in case I'm saying the wrong things.
Well, I think Portuguese people are very forgiving of that and love to see you having a go. And you do. It was great. You opened up this morning with a bon dia, which is a fantastic start. Chris is sending in love to you as well. Look, send your mum our love. As descendants of Penang, Cameron Islands and KL, we're family.
Wow.
It's like a family. How about that?
Wow.
So Chris
Penang and KL. Wow.
Yep, which you know well. Doc, as I get older, go on. Sorry. What? Yeah, nothing to do with David Cameron. Right? Yep, long before David Cameron.
Not at all.
Yep. Doc, as I get older, I have more joy than ever speaking my mind. Is this a medical condition or just a coming of age? So we could put this to Mother as well about speaking your mind.
Indeed.
Let's come back to you in a minute on that, Mum. But Doc, is it a medical condition to start speaking your mind as you get older?
No, I think it's more a coming of age. It's about, the older you get, the less what other people, the less other people can impact you physically. You hopefully get yourself increasingly stable materially as you get older. And so how other people see you impacts you less and less. Of course, you might be concerned about how you make other people feel, and I would hope that's the case. But no, I think generally the speaking my mind is a coming of age rather than a medical condition.
Thank you very much. If it was a medical condition, we could come up with a great name, and then presumably Big Pharma would be coming up with a treatment for it as well, wouldn't they? To either make it more so or less so. But when you said something about taking care of what other people think when you're speaking, my mum shook her head and said no out loud, I think. So is that how do you see this, Mother? You're somebody who's quite reserved, aren't you, in your outspoken judgments of situations? Not?
In company, yes, but I think more so of embarrassing you than anything else, because I can be very blunt. My late husband would tell you that he often walked away. He doesn't call me the Rottweiler for nothing.
The Rottweiler. Okay, so there's a little bit of an insight my mother's view on that. So you think do you get quite a joy of speaking your mind, Mother, as you've aged?
Yes, indeed, yes.
A very definite yes there. Enjoy it, Chris. It gets better by the sound of it. Question coming in. For a family of 3 currently in New Zealand, can I order a NIF through Border or NIF online, or just myself, or should I get all 3 at once prior to organising a bank account? That's interesting phasing there, Doc. I mean, you only need the one for yourself for the people who are named on the bank account, right? So there's no need to do it. Can you think of any advantages why he would do that, to take all 3?
Not really.
No, me neither. But you only need to do it for the person or people named on the bank account, because that is a requirement. So as you wish, really. And Dougie, Comrade Doc, is there a cure for early onset socialism? He might have a case, and is there anything he can do about it?
Cure for early onset socialism. Let me think about that for 2 minutes. Probably. I think it's probably late onset communism, actually.
What do you think? Doug's got a case of it?
I hope so.
Okay, and nothing can be done, Doc. Carla, Doc. Sorry, Doug, not Doc. You could say Doc's been struggling with it for years. Now with the pandemic easing from Deagle, is there a big media campaign for putting off people's health issues? I've noticed last fortnight a big push to get that lump niggle pain checked. Okay, so the lump or the niggle or the little thing that's upsetting you. What's your view on that, Doc? Because a lot of things have been pushed, were kicked into the long grass by the pandemic juggernaut, of course, and understandably in some ways. But what should people do now? And do you think that there will be public health campaigns to get people to look at those things they've been ignoring?
I think there should be. There's no doubt that presentations for various potentially serious illnesses, in particular cancer, have gone down during the pandemic, and that must surely mean that there are undiagnosed cancers which need urgent diagnosis. There are documented cases of people having, when they finally got diagnosed and treated, they're almost certainly in a situation which is less recoverable than it would have been. So yes, it needs to happen.
Yep. Okay. And folks, if you've got anything you're worried about, obviously get it checked out. Worrying is not going to help, and putting it off is probably not going to help either. Okay. And greetings from yes, you two met, didn't you? Cole's mum, greetings from my dogs as well. And I hope you still have a good time with your family. Have a nice day. From Matty to you. Remember Matty, who brought us those lovely treats from Amsterdam, mother?
Yes.
Millennials don't know about yellow pages, do they? They really don't. Bon dia, Sue from Perthshire in Scotland. Hope you have a great vacation in Portugal to you. And Starry in Sky, is that Portuguese sort of thing? A Yorkshire thing? It's starry in sky tonight. And it was a lovely starry night last night, wasn't it, Mother? We stopped at the by the Atlantic. Yeah, looked up into it and we could see all the constellations. It was fantastic whilst hearing the sea. It's Michelle. So bon dia, Carl, Sue, Comrade Doc, and everyone. Antonio F, picking up on your Malacca comments there, Mum. There's a kind of Creole in Malacca derived from the Portuguese due to the fact it was part of the Portuguese Empire between 1511 and 1641, as you were alluding to earlier on. Tell us about the food then. Can you pick up some of the Portuguese-inspired flavors in Malacca, or speak of that?
Oh, beautiful. It's a mixture, really. It's a mixture with local Malaysian food as well as Portuguese, and it's a good combination that they have inherited from the Portuguese. As I've always said, I'm very, very fond of Portugal and the Portuguese people. I have no reason to feel that otherwise, but when somebody is nice or a nation is nice, you just speak your mind, and I do so feel that. And of course, UK is my home country for a long time, and I do hope to come back here to spend more time here. And Portuguese and Portugal people have a lot to be proud of.
So true. We tell them that every day.
Yeah, they should be. They should be very proud. And they have a long history of what you call a nice colonization history too.
Yeah.
When they leave, they do not destroy the country.
Okay. There are people in our community who would like to debate that with you, I'm sure. And if you beware, if you do that, my mother will be very direct with you. we could look forward to that maybe as a Rogan style long form podcast of Portugal's effect on the world and its colonies. Oh, look at this. Special greetings, I think, to you from Gemini Bradshaw this morning, talking of constellations and astrology. Gemini's here, and Sue wants to embarrass me now. Look at this. Mama Sue, please tell us a story from Carl's childhood. Was he adventurous even then? I don't think of myself as an adventurous person. You certainly are, Mum. You've travelled all over the world, haven't you? And you are a traveller, expat, immigrant, foreigner in various places, and an incredible traveller. I don't see myself as adventurous. Do you want to answer that question? I don't want you to.
He was at the sort of young age. I have to embarrass you, Carl. He was a bit of a mummy's boy.
Oh dear, oh dear. Right.
Well, there you are. You see, you ask, you get it.
You opened the gate. You opened the gate, Carl.
Everyone's going to remember that forever now. Okay, let's move on. You're a very lucky man to have you, but I am, even though she said that. My mother passed away February 2019. She was 100 years. 3 months and 10 days old, still in rather healthy mental and physical condition.
Wow.
Sorry to hear that. Wow, amazing. Your mum. Send us a picture.
Oh, wonderful.
Delighted to honor her on screen. So that's Michelle, Starry in Sky. And I don't think I'm saying that right.
Starry Night Sky.
Starry Night. I just want it to be Yorkshire. Oh, it's starry in Sky tonight. Doc woke up one day, dizzy only while lying down. Sat up, it mostly went away, but felt very nauseous. Left ear slightly plugged feeling. Happened again on the train while wearing earbuds. Told Doc, and it was ignored. Would you have a view on that? Second opinion?
Yeah, someone should look down your ear.
Okay. Yes, with one of those things. Doc,
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you see when you look down someone's ear with that thing, and what does it do? It's got a light on it, isn't it? Is it a light and a magnifier, like a little microscope?
Yeah, basically, and you're looking first of all to make sure that the canal, the external canal, is not blocked with wax or insects or paper or anything else that might get stuck down there, especially in the case of a child. Making sure that there are no small abscesses forming, which can happen. Making sure there's no superficial infection, which can happen. And then looking at the health of the eardrum and the bones behind the eardrum. So and all those things, and a few of those could cause those sort of symptoms. So really, that should not be ignored. And I wouldn't be happy about that at all.
Okay, so get another view on that, perhaps. There, thank you, Doc, for taking care of that. Mrs. M has diagnosed Doug possibly here with long socialism, but you'd recommend that as a treatment, wouldn't you, rather than seeing it as an ailment? I think, Doc.
Well, I'd recommend it as a state of mind, picked up as soon as possible.
Okay, hoping for a case of late onset communism for Doug, from Penny. Dear friends, Penny and Doug. Sue, would you come back to the show and do a cooking class as Moaz? I bet you're a great cook. How did he know that? Mum?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, I think my cooking is rubbish myself anyway.
Not true. I've learned everything I know from you, actually. Socialism is the cure for acute neoliberalism. We've never seen it this way, have we? We could write a book on this basis, or at least a short play, I think. Everybody, Of course you can.
May I ask, about the socialism? I have traveled to a lot of communist countries, socialist countries. I have never seen any proper equality. I'm talking about proper equality, which is socialism.
Yeah, well, so there you go. So the fact that you recognise that proper equality is socialism, and you've never seen any proper equality, that means you've never travelled to any properly socialist country. You have travelled to countries that have claimed to be socialist, but the commitment to socialism was lost way back in the early 20s of the last century, so 100 years ago, as a result of the outcome of the Russian Revolution, following the massive international military intervention along all its borders, and the material inequalities between the industrialized West and the fairly backward agrarian emerging USSR.
Get your mum on a show, they said. Talk about politics, they said. What could possibly go wrong? Mother, do you want to respond to that?
Oh, I bet that's a first.
Oh, come on! I didn't do. Look, my hands are above the table. I didn't do anything there. Oh no, here she is. She's back.
No, no, it's not a socialist country. In China, in Russia. Yeah. Those are the two that I would find or feel that when I was there, I couldn't see much of it, and I'm deeply disappointed. I am very much for equality in socialism, but I haven't actually, come across that, in actual fact.
Yep. Well, and you've been to both places. It's quite amazing where you've travelled. And the funny thing is, you are enjoying I don't know. Doc might disagree with this, but
Carl, I need to leave because I've lost sound. I'm coming back in 2 seconds.
All right, mate. Okay. Yeah. Interestingly, Portugal is socialist by constitution, so you could say it's a pretty good example. Not as much as the Doc would like, I suspect, and others. But we have other questions and comments here. Thank you for taking us down that road, though, everybody. Everybody, I just told about my mother, not because I'm sad for her departure, but because I'm actually happy that I could have her around for so many years in my life. That's lovely, João. And do send a picture. Lovely to see a picture of your Portuguese mum. Bon dia, Carl's mum. So glad you're enjoying Portugal. Shame it is a little cloudy for you. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I mean, you were marveling at the weather yesterday, weren't you, mum?
Beautiful it was, absolutely.
For February, quite incredible.
It's been beautiful since I've been here, really.
Yeah, look at this. You're too nice to argue with. That's a really good tactic. I must try that. Not that I would get away with that. Good Gumpers, fondle that like button. Okay, steady on the double entendre when my mother's around, although she's probably the worst, actually. I guess we were certainly better behaved than the Spanish on colonisation. Elra talking as the Portuguese there. João F. Cole, your mum is so lovely, and unknowingly, she just touched my heart deeply. Look at that. You must come back if that's the case. With a mummy like that, who wouldn't be a mummy's boy, I think is what he's saying there. Thank you very much for making that okay. That's how I feel about my mum. Gone 20 years now, and not a day has passed. I haven't thought of her, at least briefly. Thank you, Jean, for that as well. Mummy's boys are the best. Look at that. Yay, mummy's boys. Let's start our own Facebook group, shall we? I have 3 of them, and they are now kind, empathetic men. Thank you for sharing. Look at this. My wife is joining in now. Here's a mummy's boy, and our boys are mummy's boys. We stand together. No, we don't. We stand behind our mums. We stand behind our mothers. Yes, Doc, you got it.
Thank you, Michelle.
Oh, mama's boys are usually very nice. There you go. Your mum's laugh is the best. We'll have to make that a jingle, shall we? Great to be introduced to her. And good job from Nubianet to you, Mrs. M. Oh, you mentioned your mother cooking in the caveman show. Oh, okay, yes, we should do that, shouldn't we? What's this here? You might understand this, Doc. I use the Epley maneuver to treat my benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. That's not a politics thing. That's the ear blockage, then, is it?
Yeah. So that's about. I can't remember. I used to teach it a long time ago, back in the days when I was a GP. But it's about putting your head at a certain angle and moving it through a certain angle, and it tends to it often settles it down.
I think that looks good on the dance floor probably as well. When I hear mummy's boy, I hear a boy who loves his mum. And this is not an insult or anything to be ashamed of. Yet another label to keep men in the man box. James, with the psychotherapeutic input, thank you very much. Women have their restrictive gender labels as well. Mama Sue, have you got any funny stories about Carl's clubbing days with Phil Sannel? Pete, you are such a mischief maker. I kept that entirely secret from my mother, of course, going to the Mud Club in London's West End. But you probably knew I was there anyway, Mother. And when I pretended I didn't smoke and the whole room stank of fags or whatever, but cigarettes,
No,
I mean, just for you Americans, cigarettes is what I meant to say there. Come on, everyone knows that Mum's cooking is always the best, of course. Millennium... Is that Millennium Doctor or Millennium Doctor? Anita Lisbon, good morning to you. Used her cell phone torch to look into my aunt's ear. That's the new way, isn't it, of doing things? There's probably an app connected to it that can that can diagnose as well. You wouldn't do that, would you, Doc? Unless you had nothing else available, of course.
Well, exactly, but we'd always preface it by saying I haven't got the right equipment handy. However, I'll do my best with this. But if I can't see what the problem is, I would suggest you come back and see me when I have, or go and see someone else who has. That kind of thing.
Millennials, honestly. Doc's a Trotsky fan. I mean, but didn't you prefer his first album? To the later work?
We need 1905 as opposed to 1917.
Yes, exactly. bring Penny over to YouTube. Yeah, before he sold out on Unplugged. No, the other way around. Doc, when I touch down in central Portugal, we have to meet. We have to chew the fat and play some Black Uhuru, mixing it down on the place. There's an invitation you can't refuse. Why? My mum would like that as well, by the way. Mama Sue, the only ex-communist countries will know what you speak of. They have lived it, says El Relinda. Going to watch the last 30 minutes with your mummy later, was on the telephone with the doctor trying to get a repeat prescription. Interesting. Socialism isn't working out too good in New Zealand. Although you could classify what's going on in New Zealand in all sorts of political lenses, couldn't you, or through them?
Well, they had a very, very, very low death toll from COVID as a result of having an exceptionally sensible policy through probably the first 70%. I know things seem to have gone a little awry since, but,
just a little. Okay, a bit like Canada. My son was a mummy's boy, now a lovely man. Is that Henry you're talking about? I'm so glad to hear that. Carl's mum, my cabeleireira. There you go. There's some Portuguese that's really hard to say. That's the hairdresser, is Venezuelan. She's told me all about it, the experience of Venezuela there. Have a great day, Sue, Carl, Doc, and all the Gumpers. I know this much. When things get tight, every hardened man is a mummy's boy. I'm sure that's true. Diogo, hello, bon dia, Portugal. Democracy came from Greece. Look at the state they're in. Political comment of the day. Socialism was discussed in England in the Parliament in Queen Victoria's time. So we'll show you the one. We got to have. I think we should go back to the full-on political debates after the wine club. Again, what could possibly go wrong? Happy New Day. Enjoy here. You all are. Thank you, Diogo. Great to hear from you always. Be thankful for what you have. This is a nice political sentiment, I suspect, from Deagle that we can all get ourselves around. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never have enough. I'm sure there's some truth in that, isn't there, Mother? And this is such a lovely show. Yeah, so I think we should get some pithy life wisdom from both of you. It's 7 minutes past 10. We do have to finish soon. Robert Lindsay, Citizen Smith, they don't make comedy like that anymore. Power to the people! I can speak to that being a Kiwi, says Vinny Vengeance there. So yeah, let's do that. Verdad, truly, this is such a lovely show. Well, thank you, Mum. You've made an excellent debut and entry to this. I think there'll be requests to have you back. Doc, of course, already a resident, and I suspect happy to share the platform with you here, and probably to have further political discussions, late night ones over that Beral that I think you like now, Mother. So a comment. We'll go to you last, Mum, and you can have the crowning glory of the show with your wisdom or your insights about Portugal. Doc, you first. What would you like to say after all you've heard this morning? It's been a mixed bag, hasn't it?
It has, but I'd be happy to share a bottle of Beral with Mama Sue anytime for a political discussion. Anytime.
There's an invitation to go visit there. Yeah, Mother, your final thoughts then, for now anyway, about being here in Portugal, because we've got to let Jimmy Church.
I just love it. I can't describe that. It says that, after traveling so many places, I feel at peace here. So, So that is a beautiful feeling, and the people are just so nice. You know, I can't praise it high enough, really. And for me, it's something I'm not easily given to, you know, saying nice things.
I can tell you that's true, folks. High praise indeed for Portugal. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much, Mother. See you all soon. You've all been fantastic.
Thank you.
Ciao.